Beyond the Wall. Speechless.
Well, not that speechless, because we're going to do a review.
Oh, yeah. Spoiler. Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durbin.
I'm Laura.
And this is our spoiler talk for, what is it, Season 7, Episode 6?
Yes, Episode 6. There's only 7 seasons, only one more episode.
7 seasons, one more episode.
There's only 7 episodes in this one. Let's just dive in.
Okay, diving in.
Spoilers.
Okay, so first, here's what I'm going to say. Everything that happened beyond the wall is what I really want to talk about, so I'll just make a few quick footnotes about the other stuff.
Yeah, Arya and Sansa fought.
They fought, and that was really interesting what they fought over, but it turns out that it's just Littlefinger planting a little seed of division because, you know, you divide the kingdom, that's how you take it, and I'm like, that's his genius plan. You know what? It is genius. Okay, now that we've flown through that, yeah, that was very interesting material, and it was very well executed. Beyond the Wall! Oh my gosh, everything that happened beyond that wall was incredible. Starting with, before we even get to the action-packed stuff, that particular group of people, as soon as they were all beyond the wall and they were just, you know, talking as they were walking and things like that, the way they would joke around with each other, like, it felt like I was watching the Avengers. Yeah. It's these characters through separate stories and separate storylines that I've gotten to know, like the Hound and all these guys, and gotten to really like their personalities.
It's like you love and hate them, but they're just fun.
But now, all of a sudden, these characters are thrown together into this group for this single quest.
Characters collide.
But, like, their chemistry together was awesome. I mean, I feel like what Jon Snow needs to be is, like, King Arthur, and then that group needs to be his Knights of the Round Table. Yeah. Because, like, I just thought that particular group was so great. So
Wisdom amongst all of them.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, like,
the Lord of Light group was fantastic.
Yeah. Well, like, the Hound, how he was just so straightforward and, like, just said it. And then the Wildling, Tormund, he just was awesome. And then, honestly, the Hound and Tormund together just cracked me up.
Oh,
like, they're back and forth.
And Tormund talking about, I have a 6-foot-tall blonde lady waiting for me. And then the Hound's like, Brienne of Tarth? Man, she'll cut your heart out. Oh, you have met her! Yeah. And it's like, oh my gosh! I mean, little moments like that, I just thought the Avengers. Yeah. I just thought, wow,
it's just
I love this group. I mean,
you know they're on this epic quest, and it's just like, but it was a good bonding moment. And really, one of the things I also liked was Jon offering to give Jorah Mormont his dad's sword, Longclaw, back.
That was awesome.
I'm like, that's really, I mean,
come on.
That's a baller move.
If anything
Jon
else
Snow
is just going to endear you to Jon Snow, if it's not his great leadership, if it's not the fact that he's not selfish, if it's not the fact that his whole goal is to unite the kingdom and forget their differences so they can fight a common foe, if you forget all the stuff that makes him a great king and a great leader, just this right here that makes him a great man, that this sword is such a prized possession of his.
And it's Valyrian steel.
But because he knew the right thing to do, he offered it back to Jorah. I mean, holy cow. How could you... Jon is just, he's the best. He is simply the best. Here's something else, though. Okay, so we see this a little bit later, but I'm going to bring it up now. So between Jon and Khalessi.
Yes.
Now, earlier in the season, I talked about how I think they should get married, and I think that they need to rule the kingdoms together with an iron scepter and all that fun stuff.
Yes.
But now starting to develop this theory that I'm really starting to believe myself, that Jon Snow is a Targaryen.
Yeah, that... Daenerys is his,
the theory that I presently hold to makes Jon Snow the nephew of Khalessi.
Yep. And now they're talking about how they love each other, like how he does these long gazing looks. And then, Tyrion told Daenerys, it's like, oh yeah, all the men, the crazy men that you've always loved, they go off and do stupid stuff.
Do you ever get exactly what you want and find out that it's not exactly what you want? I still want Jon Snow and Khalessi to, like, be in love and be married and rule with an iron rod and control the kingdoms, except they might be family.
Kingdoms, not control.
And we see what happens when somebody sits on the Iron Throne and is with their, close relation, and it's like, that's bad.
So we'll just see where that goes. That'll be a season 8 thing.
Yeah, probably the big reveal.
I can't imagine. Yeah. There's only one episode left. I can't imagine that will be in the next episode.
You never know.
You're right.
Isn't the next episode like even longer than the one we watch now? So
almost a movie.
So there's going to be a lot to unpack in this very next episode, which I am very much looking forward to.
Well, so Beyond the Wall. So now we see, I'm going to just jump into the action.
Do it.
So they are obviously on their way to go to find a wildling.
Are you going to talk about the zombie polar bears?
I was getting there.
Zombie polar bears!
We're, Chris's mom is here visiting us.
And my sister, yeah.
And her sister. And all of a sudden
and
we
her
see...
sister? Did you say and her sister? And my sister. That would be his sister.
My sister-in-law. It's all good. But so we are watching this and we see the bear at the distance. And we see like the guy running back because he doesn't want to get eaten by this giant bear. And then all of a sudden, coming out of the side, you know that side shot that you see where the car comes and hit him sideways? Oh my gosh. Me and Chris's mom just screamed. That scene I'm like, all right, there's got to be more epic stuff that's about to happen. But that was like a great, like, jump moment for me.
I thought the servants of the Lord of Light, when they whipped out their swords and...
Oh, yeah, they got the fire on their swords.
I mean, that was almost lightsaber-esque, majestic material right there.
Sweet.
That was... awesome.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
Cool. Which I'm like, well, you need that when you're fighting White Walkers because you got to burn them.
And then the next thing that was cool about this White Walker thing, so we get past this polar bear fight that made you and my mom scream not once, but twice because there were 2 amazing jump scares in there.
Yeah.
But the next thing that was incredible is so first, you think you have Jon Snow and them lighting that fire to set a trap, and so you have that whole little scout party of White Walkers coming to check it out.
Yes.
And so there's a leader in that scout party, and then he's got some men. Mm-hmm. So Jon, in a fight, kills the leader with his Valyrian sword.
The one that's there that has the blue eyeballs.
But when he kills the leader of that squadron, the rest of them disintegrate. So now we've learned something new that it's like if you kill like leaders of squads, the people that are following that leader die. So if we could kill the king, they're all gone.
And yeah, the leader of the Lord of Light group, he said, he's like, oh, so you just have to kill the one that started it all, kind of a thing. Like he realized, and so, you know, as they're dealing with that, they do that, all of a sudden you hear like,
if you kill like a leader, whoever he killed dies with him. Yeah, it's interesting.
And so after he kills that one, all of a sudden I thought it was an avalanche that was coming because you hear this noise. And they tell Gendry, the son of Baratheon, to run back because he's the fastest. And like, just get back to the watch, let him know what's going on so he can send a raven to Daenerys because they need dragons. They need fire breathing because there's no hope without her right now. And so he runs, and so they run the opposite direction so that this way hopefully nobody will capture him. And they run, and the first thing they do is they step on an ice lake.
Now, what I liked about that scene, because, I mean, a lot of cool stuff happened, but, I mean, let's just get to the heart of what's awesome about this. So, of course, it's an ice lake, so, of course, the ice is going to break. So we go through all that tension, will the ice break, whatever. They get to this rock island in the middle of the lake. They're surrounded.
Well, I mean, when they get to the ice lake and step on it, that's when they see the whole White Walker army come at them. But that was the avalanche sound that they were hearing. I mean, it was just, so they get there, and then they go and it's cracking on them, and then the water starts to break. Or the water, I'm sorry. The ice starts to break as
I never
the
would
White
have caught
Walker.
that.
You're welcome. The ice starts to break because the White Walker army is too heavy, and there's like an island in the middle that they're all sitting on and like standing on because the White Walker army is not going to come across at them, and apparently none of them use bows and arrows.
Okay, but here's what was really cool. Okay, so first off, it's just funny because we've already grown attached to this group.
Yes.
And in such a short episode, we really watched this group bond. So they did a great job with the chemistry between all these people in this episode.
Talked about how like their families didn't like each other, but who cares because we're all like on a common cause.
And so like that was just awesome to see that. So by the time you get to this where they're on this island, you care about each of them. You already buy that now they're friends. You already buy that now they're just brothers in war, they're brothers in arms. Yep. You buy that they've had this
they have a common enemy.
Right, but the point is what really hooks you in this scene is is in such a short time you buy that these guys are now genuine friends. And now all of a sudden
these guys want to help each other get out of this.
The Hound, being the Hound, throwing rocks at the army.
Oh yeah.
The one rock lands,
but this was after a night of them sitting on the rock.
So the
frozen.
So the one rock lands on the water and comes skittering across, and the ice doesn't break. And they're like,
you know, he curses at that moment, and then the White Walkers start to walk across because they know it's not water anymore. It is refrozen.
And that was just and then the army comes, and I think that fight that they had there, oh my gosh. I mean, there's been a lot of great fights on this show. But
that was the one where, I mean, well, the Battle of the Bastards was really bad, but that was the one where it really, like, the cards were down. I'm like, there was thousands upon thousands of these White Walkers surrounding them, and 8 of them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a small, I don't know the exact number of guys, but it was a small number of guys they're fighting.
But again, what I liked about this fight, probably above any other fight I've seen in the show, I'm not saying this is the best fight in the whole show, but what made this fight really highlight for me as one of the best is instead of following an army of that you want to win, you're following just 8.
Yes.
And these are 8 characters you know well. These are 8 characters that have come to be friends.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a solid focus on this small number of people against this many number of White Walkers, and it's just awesome. And like she said, the cards are down.
Well, and what I really liked is these guys, you could tell they cared about each other because as they're falling down, they're backing the other one up. I mean, there was a time Tormund, oh man, I was getting so mad because I thought he was going to die. And I mean, I love that character. And so he's like going down. We thought he was dead. There's like 5 guys on him. He gets out. Then there's 3 guys. And then they're pulling him into the water. And I'm like,
and at this point, like, Daenerys has already received the Raven, and she's already left with the dragons.
Yes, we know
and
she's coming.
And I'm like, you need to show up now, dragons. You need to show up now, dragons. But then
it kept getting worse. But then
the Hound shows up.
Like, sits there and is like hacking left and right and pulling him back. And then it's like, but all the guys there are helping each other. You know, you think one's on her back. Somebody else gets, it was great. But then they're falling back to be in a closer area on top of that one tiny little island that's in the middle of this water. And, you know, you can see, like, there's 5 of them left.
And there's a slow motion scene where Jon is just like looking around, and you see the resignation in his eyes. This is the end, but we're gonna go down with honor.
Yeah, and he makes eye contact with the other guys, and they're just like, but they're fighting nonstop.
Yeah, they're just like, let's go.
And that resignation happened when one of his men fell over off of the cliff. Not a cliff. It was, well, they're on the island. Fell off
the rock into the water.
rock, and like got destroyed by White Walkers. And he's just like, oh man. And then all of a sudden.
And it was not just one of them, it was 3 of them, and it was glorious until the White Walker King took his
The White Walker King's like standing out there looking, and he goes to the horse and grabs, his spear.
I'm glad we keep props on here. So what I made a prediction earlier in this year, especially when we saw Cersei's giant arrows. I made a prediction that by the end of this season, at least one dragon was going to die. What I did not expect, and I did not see coming a mile away, was it wouldn't be Cersei's arrow that takes out that dragon, but it would be the freaking Night King.
I did not think that at all.
But as soon as he had it in his hand, all of us went, no.
I know. And then he took down one of the dragons. And
one of the little ones.
My first reaction was, oh my gosh, we're going to have a White Walker dragon.
That was the first reaction, yes.
And then I'm like, no, because he went down into the water. I'm like, okay, he's going to get frozen. We're good. And then they're fighting. But so Daenerys sees it happen. And she's just like frozen and shocked. So she gets down. She's there landing. She's getting all the guys that are there onto her dragon. And they're trying so hard to get out of there. But Jon's out there still fighting because he's trying to get the men their best chance. And all of a sudden, he sees the Night King grab
a second spear.
And he yells at her.
I was on the edge of my seat.
Run while he's still on the ice because there's no way he can get back to her. And what happens is he gets hit by White Walkers and taken into the ice water where he honestly should have died.
But he claws his way out of there, which was amazing.
And then I have to say, when we saw that happen, his mom's prediction was that Jon was going to become a White Walker
and control the White Walker dragon.
And then the 2 of them were going to go. And I'm like, oh, that would be awesome if that happened. I'm like, but he would be like on the good side because of his Uncle Benji that we saw a couple episodes ago.
Uncle Benji returns one last time for 5 seconds.
I know, but it's funny because I thought he could be a White Walker because of Uncle Benji from when he helped Bran. And but then he goes under, but somehow he gets out. No hypothermia. Don't know. It's Jon Snow. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
He's died and come back, so
he'll do it.
He'll keep doing it. And so it's like, because, when somebody comes back from life, there's...
I just thought it was cool. Uncle Benji throws him on the horse. Uncle Benji saves him.
Gets him going, and Uncle Benji just is whipping and taking out as many White Walkers as he can with his fire.
But then the next awesome scene is, they're trying to, Jon Snow makes it back to the wall, and they're trying to peel off his clothes, which are frozen to him.
Frozen to him.
And Daenerys walks in, and she sees the scar on his heart. She sees the scars all over his gut from when he got stabbed.
His men turned
And what I like is you see it on her face. Like, so she was wondering what Lord Davos had meant when Lord Davos said he took that knife to the heart. Now here she is seeing these scars. She now is seeing that he he like basically sacrificed himself to give them their best chance and her last 2 dragons the best chance to escape.
He sacrificed himself
But
so that she would believe in White Walkers.
And she's looking at these scars and she's seeing like what this guy is made out of. And once again, I'm getting what I wanted and realizing it's not what I wanted because I'm seeing
you can
her
tell she sees this respect
fall
for
in
him.
love with him. She's truly respecting him and all that. And then I'm just like, but he's your freaking nephew. This is so gross.
I know, but let's just.
I could be wrong about that. I'm just saying it's the theory I kind of think is the most true. But then my favorite part was at the end where he's like, I would bend the knee to you right now if I could stand up. And she's like, but what about your men? And he goes, in time they will see who you are and the quality that you're made out of.
But that was after she told him first that she would help him fight the White Walkers, and then he called her
I love that.
his
She's like,
queen.
She's like, the way she said it's like, okay, I don't no longer expect you to bend the knee. I respect you, and I will fight with you because you are worthy.
She's like, I now understand.
And then he also came to an understanding and basically swore himself to her, and it's like, and that's what we need is this mutual understanding. Now we all know something's going to happen that's just going to throw monkey wrenches into everything in the next episode.
Oh yeah.
But then to see this end with them pulling out the dragon, the dead dragon. I was really hoping that
the dragon wouldn't become a White Walker.
And then the Night King touches the dragon's nose, and his eye opens, and it's blue.
So now the Dragon King, the Night King, now has a dragon. I wonder. Now this is like me. Does that dragon spit fire? Does that dragon spit ice?
Oh.
I mean, this is going to be what unfolds in the next episode.
But either way, this puts the White Walkers at more of an even match against everybody else because now they have a dragon.
I don't know why. I guess I didn't think they could kill dragons, but I mean, I'm not surprised that they can.
They're the freaking White Walkers.
Yeah, so we're going to now, if you have hundreds of thousands of men fighting against their hundreds of thousands, I don't think it's hundreds of thousands, but tens of thousands.
I think my mom, though, is hoping that there's some kind of connection between Daenerys and the dragon that still exists.
Yes, and so that this way the dragon can't fully be turned because, sometimes they, in those like mind control things, like somebody who is strong of will and strong of heart can't fully get turned. So I think that's what we're hoping will happen with the dragon, and the dragon might turn, but that wouldn't happen. That won't happen this season. If it does, I don't know. He's going to come around flying a dragon. I just can't.
I can't wait either.
One more week!
I honestly have no predictions left. None. I have nothing to predict because, like, once again, this show has done that for me. So, I don't know. A+ episode. That was incredible.
That was an awesome episode.
This has been one of my... Actually, this might be my favorite season. I mean, last season had that awesome battle, but oh my gosh.
Well, it kind of depends, because it's like, there's the intrigue of the characters, which some of the other seasons were way better at this, but the epic fight sequences are what's better in the later seasons, too.
Yeah, so I think this season's having great story with the epic fight, so I'm really enjoying what's going on here.
It's having great story with one side of it. I'm not completely attached to Jaime and Cersei and that whole side.
I'm not either.
I'm not super attached. I've never been attached to Sansa or Arya. I've gone back and forth and I'm curious to see where that's going to go. But it's like, really, when I watched this episode, I felt like their dialogue, I just didn't love it.
I liked her Arya standing up to Sansa, but I didn't like the way she stood up to Sansa, and because it's on Littlefinger's terms.
Oh, it's Littlefinger's, the one who caused it.
Yeah, so he totally preyed on her weakness.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
What did you think?
Yes, be sure to let us know in the comments. And while you're there, hit that subscribe button to become a Durbanian. Next to the subscribe button is that bell. Click that bell. That way you're notified the moment I drop new videos. Also, I have a Patreon account. So if you like Durbania, you love what we're producing here, Patreon is a great way to support Durbania. And also, there's a few rewards with different levels of giving if you want to check that out and read those details. So you can check out that link in my description below. I'm Durbin.
I'm Laura.
Thank you for checking out Durbania.